Hey, by the way, what are we celebrating?
Oh, we had a lot of liquor left over from the Christmas party.
I think this is so cool. I mean, none of our friends are here, so we can, could be a real couple. We don't have to hide.
I know. I can do this.
Oh. And I can do this.
We can't
do that, no.
Hey, bing! Whoa! Who's the pretty lady and what the hell's she doing with you?
I asked myself that very question, sir. This is Monica. This is my boss, Doug. Doug, this is Monica.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, and this is my wife, Kara.
Nice to meet you, Monica.
Bing!
Okay.
Hey, Bing, did you hear about the new law firm we got working for us?
No, sir.
Yeah, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Come on, honey, let's go drink our body weight, huh?
What was that?
What?
That noise you just made.
Oh, that was my work laugh.
Your work laugh?
Oh, yeah, believe me, if you're going to survive this party, you're going to have to come up with one, too.
All right. Check me out.
Okay.
Says $30, Father, same as in town.
In this Friends episode, Chandler's inclination to make up and laugh in order to fit in at work expresses a simple fact of human nature. People are born with a desire to fit in, to conform to a common way. In her Confessions of Conformity at Princeton, Allie West explains how the adaptation of fashion was a rampant disease at her college.
As I rummaged through the dress racks at my favorite thrift store in San Francisco before leaving for college, I wonder which frock would be preppy enough for Princeton. Twice a year, the school holds an event called lawn parties in which students put on their best wasp wear and dance to live music all day. When I heard about the event, I immediately wondered, what on earth will I wear? I bought a pair of duck boots and spent a lot of time thinking about bracelets or ballet flats decorated in our school colors. Though my look will change over the years to come, I won't again dress in a way that isn't me.
Conformity doesn't exist in only a set environment, but it exists in all environments. Woodbridge is no exception. We are expected to come to class on time, to all perform well, and sometimes we also practice conformity on our own. An article entitled When Social Skills Are a Warning explains how the human mind works to conform by explaining several symptoms or repercussions of failing to do so. The first of the symptoms being indifference or lack of emotion in social settings. Similarly, some individuals can have the inability to sync with others or pay attention to a group. Next, this disconnect can lead to disruptive and inappropriate behaviors, such as talking out of place. Finally, the most complex symptom is being unable to read emotion, parallel to one's inability to have emotion in the first place. Biologically, humans are made to function cohesively. We are going to examine how this natural conformity plays out in humans, and specifically Woodbridge life. Our first story features a boy coming from a different country learning to adapt to life in America. He had to learn to fit in with others by changing his appearance to resemble everyone else around him.
In what ways did he dress differently? What was his purpose in altering the way he looks? How did this change affect his mentality of being an American?
Why do you think people change their appearance to fit in?
People change their appearance to fit in because they don't want to be made fun of, and like they want to be able to relate with other kids, like not only in what they wear but like what they say and like everything else kind of. So like yeah, they feel like fit in.
So I think people change their appearance / behavior because everybody needs that, that everybody wants to be part of that pack mentality, to be loved by others.
I think it's to impress other people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, impression and making good impressions on people.
I know that in high school, basically people are in this cusp of freeing yourself from your parents and becoming an independent individual. And at that point, you're trying to figure out, where do you fit in outside of your home, because you've been raised a certain way, and so you have this certain comfort level and appearance and beliefs, etc. And suddenly you get to be independent on your own, and you get to break out from your family a little bit as a teenager. And so your conformity is really, in a sense, just trying to figure out who you are. And so you dabble in different groups, which results in you changing who you are to see if you fit in with each different group that you come across.
I personally think that people change their appearance to fit in because they want to look like they belong with each other, and I feel like they feel uncomfortable when they kind of like look different.
Everyone has like a home personality and a school personality if they're the two environments that people live in. In the world generally, people fit in because if they see generally outside, like, oh, people are doing certain thing or people like certain things, and they feel the need that if they don't do that thing, they won't fit in.
I moved from the Philippines to here when I was 6 or 7, like around 3rd grade. And when I came here, I spent a year not having school because it was already within the school year. And during that time, I didn't really know much about like what was going on here, what to wear, how to act, except like from my like English classes in the Philippines, right? So coming into like 3rd, 4th grade, I would always like wear these like what my mom like bought me. It's like, and to be honest, my mom has no fashion sense. So I was always like an ostracized little nerdy kid that had no idea how to fit in. And over time, I guess I learned like, oh, you need to wear this to fit in, you need to act this way, you need to speak this way to fit in. You know, you can't necessarily stay like as it was in the Philippines. If you wanna act like a Filipino, you gotta go back to the Philippines. But if you wanna act like an American, you gotta act like an American, right? So yeah, I guess as time passed and I grew older and more mature, I decided, hey, maybe we should like dress this way. It's cool, it's hip, it's fun, and it's how my friends dress. People change their appearance to fit in because we as people want to be together in a society. It's a basic human need to want to be with other people, and by conforming, we better like become that, I guess. I feel like people become more self-conscious about how other people perceive themselves, so in that it helps in how you yourself perceive yourself. I feel like many people perceive themselves in the eyes of another person, like how they're going to be judged, as rather like how you yourself judge yourself.
One of the most significant lessons that he learned from his move from the Philippines is that if you want to act like a Filipino, you have to go back to the Philippines. But if you want to be an American, you got to act like an American. Society forced Christian to assimilate, to adjust himself if he wanted to stay in America. For him, conformity was black and white. It was a choice he had to make, not one he could simply fall into. Here at Woodbridge, life is pretty black and white too. There are ethnic groups, but in order to fit in, people have to choose to. Woodbridge may not be as inviting as it seems. Newcomers are often forced with decisions that they have to make in order to fit in. What to wear, who to hang out with, whether or not to be outgoing. This Woodbridge life is a bandwagon culture. Individuals must choose to tag along, or else they will be left behind. Our next story displays how conformity may not necessarily be a good thing. In this example, conformity and the desire to fit in resulted in consequences.
Do you think that the reason why most people like change themselves is because of internal pressure, like around at school, or like external, like outside of school, like at their house, or like everywhere, like social media, stuff like that?
I think it's like it's everywhere, even in school, even outside of school. Like especially, I think it's more prevalent in school though, because I don't know. Like you want to make a good impression. I think that's like the biggest reason why people change, is to make impressions on other people and how other people perceive them.
I think personally, I'm worse at home, like whatever people think I am at school, I'm worse at home. Like I'm more cocky or more rude at home. But I try to conform here so more people like me, I guess. So for the general public's liking of someone, I generally like be nice and like say hi and stuff.
I think any sort of interaction between a group of peoples will definitely have an impact on the way that they perceive the images around them, and of course the way that they will try to conform to those images.
Sometimes if like at school you feel like you click more with your friends, like you'll have that like ability to act like how you want, like you can act silly and stuff, but at the house like it's different because like in an Asian family, like your parents are kind of strict sometimes, so you can't really like act like crazy and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, because like people like judge other people by their looks because that's the first thing they see, and then like I believe that most people like care about what other people say about them.
There was one time when I was in elementary school, and it was the end of lunch, recess, and my friends wanted to play unicorn, and so I knew it was the end of the lunch period and that perhaps playing with them could mean I would miss the lineup for walking back to class because it's elementary school. And I was not a rule breaker whatsoever in elementary school. I would go out of my way to never, ever, ever break a rule, and so this event was a big deal to me. And so I was convinced by my friends, because I wanted to hang out with them, to play unicorn. And so we pretended to be unicorns, and we pranced through the halls of the elementary school. And meanwhile, the bell rang, and my friends wanted to keep playing unicorn, and I just joined right in with them, even though I knew I would possibly be in trouble for missing class. And so we played unicorn all the way up to their classroom, which was down the hall from mine, and the bell rang, and they made it to class because we played unicorn to their class, but I missed my walk to my classroom, and so I was late and petrified, and I hid in the hallway, actually, and I got found by an assistant principal, and I was like kind of trying to hide in a corner that I could get. I mean, as if I was hiding. There was nothing blocking me, but I was trying to hide in a corner, and she found me. And I didn't get in that much trouble, but I was very scared, and I never broke a rule again, ever.
Conformity for her had its obvious effects. The influence of her friends led her into doing something she didn't necessarily want to do. The friends you hang out with often mold you into the type of person you become. Your personalities, quirks, and morals all reflect who you are. However, if you choose to conform to something you're not, what do you have to show for your true self? Your response to others speaks volumes about yourself. Conformity in this manner doesn't have to be solely negative. Surrounding yourself with people of similar values can help you to thrive and support your personal ideals. No matter the environment, conformity in some cases is inevitable, and it's that conformity to the people around you that dictates your character. Life here in Irvine is uniform. Everyone is expected to live the same way in a planned community. Communities often have 3 blueprint plans which alternate among the houses. This monotonous repetition of houses A, B, and C is often the only type of variety we can see. Oftentimes, the people here don't live with any more variety than the differences among their homes. We are taught to live in accordance with the majority, to live normally so that we don't stick out. Society tells us that there is a certain wave we have to catch. This is why we choose to live in Irvine. We choose to live in a community with thousands of codes. We are a collection of people who want to be surrounded by others who are similar to us. We comply with regulations because we don't want to mess up this perfect balance of a planned community. Maybe this Woodbridge life refers to our Woodbridge life.
Trash can.
Yeah, just like coming out.
So, I hate little children.
Why do you think people change their appearance to fit in?
I think you having a set amount of questions, the same questions for every person, that's conformity. I'm not going to conform to the questions everybody else is saying. So I want my own questions. Like, everybody wants to be half Asian, half white. I mean, I would. That's why I'm so happy, because I am. If you are half Asian, like I am, you just love life, because everybody likes you, you're super sexy, you know, and that just makes you feel good all the time.
No, not yet.
Our first story.
Wait, what
It's been like
it's been like 2 seconds.
Thanks.
Are we ready? I have small eyes.
Asian eye.
I know. I should get them surgically enlarged.